Ladies and Germans, how are you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
This is Zhang Ru. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, monthly coverage today takes us over here to Slutsk. Who do we have, my friend?
Left-hand side in the blue, we have Farid playing Panzer Lehr Maverick income. Right-hand side in red, we have a Hypokrass playing 3rd American Armored with a V for victory income.
You know, I feel like 3rd Armored is one of the few people that a V for victory income is a viable strategy. I mean, there are divisions that you can definitely take it, but it's not super strong. But 3rd, I kind of feel like very somehow skirts by that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not too bad, because especially you definitely want that C-phase income for 3rd Armored, because it's all about tank spam. And you don't have much infantry, or you were smart and did take the C-phase armored rifles card, so I'd be curious to see. We've got like an SD-44 matchup here, a little bit of nostalgia, the Panzer Lehr, the 3rd Armored. I wonder if they don't get the King Tiger anymore, they just get regular Tigers in this case, which is a bit lame.
It is
for
a little
you,
bit lame.
Eugene, and your historical accuracy.
The same place that puts 7 Tigers in a single division when you're like, wait, there weren't 7 Tigers in an entire Kampf group, let alone everything else. But we are seeing the kind of usual breakout to the south. We're seeing actually some engineers pounding up the hillside over here on the back of those lovely, lovely little M3A1s. At Mod Deuces and MG42s entertaining one another. I think it's very great that they're doing that. But of course, the M4 with the 105 in the background causing some havoc. Now, we've seen this map enough. We've seen this kind of matchup enough. You talk about it being, SD44 nostalgia. If you're looking at this right now, I can't help but feel like SD44 nostalgia is anything that has a Canadian division in it.
Is anything which has a division which I liked from SD44, which is all of them, to be real.
That's true. That's true. But unfortunately, the Desert Rats, I don't think would be very good in this kind of field over here. I mean, wait, trees? I don't know what they do with trees.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be awful. But the Arty Party, I think, would probably give me no small amount of joy either on that town or on where all of this mess is right now from Farid Rommel.
Yeah, Farid's doing a decent job holding. I mean, neither side actually has that much infantry, so these town fights are going to be especially brutal. But also up north, we got a pretty good breakout here from Farid. He's definitely playing to the strength of his division, using that heavy Panther tank to just zone out the field, and even pushing quite dangerously as a Puma. But he has a pretty good chance to make a little blitzkrieg happen here, because there's no defenses currently from Hypokrass.
The 76 that's down central part of the actual map, causing a little bit of an issue here. But unfortunately, by revealing himself, that MG42 is going to take him under fire. And the question is, will he be able to take out the Tiger before that? Panther rather. Excuse me.
No, he will not. Taking way too much suppressive damage. I forgot bloody Panzer Lehr gets Panzer Grenadiers or Panzer Shreks, which is just wild. They're going to be able to push up and very clearly clear out town. Well, maybe not so much. Panzer Shrek doesn't really... You can't shoot against infantry. Kind of sucks.
But the Panzer Shrek squads are still beefy as all get out. The other thing I like here, too, is that we're getting kind of bounding, not Overwatch, we're getting bounding deployment. IG-18s, yes, they're out in the open, so very, very limited defensive opportunities here. But they'll be able to zone out so much as it comes down. And with the softball rounds that they can kind of lob down range, the light skin half-tracks are zoned for right now.
Yeah, this is just a very effective use of fire support, even bringing out a mortar half-track, which I love to see. And we're seeing now Hypokrass is bringing in the emergency defenses. He's got the Jumbo, which is it's not a good counter against the Panther, but it can slow it down if it's rather boisterous army, you could say, as well as the 76mm gun, which may have a chance to get a side shot.
And that was the thing, wasn't it? I was looking at B, since we have the whole idea of V for victory. The Hypokrass really should be kind of punching up, but I really like the way that in his B phase, he's not concerning himself with kind of spamming out those tanks. Yes, if he wants to, he can bring in a ton of M4A1s, a handful of Jumbos, but really his major concern here is bringing us some command over in phase of B, which is not where most people tend to go. So we'll see definitely how that kind of works out here.
Yeah, and we've got the P-51 now being brought in, trying to blow up the Pank 40. Kind of a very good direct hit here. And I do like also he's using smoke on the Jumbo, just trying to block its line of sight, forcing it to get a little bit closer, because it is providing some good fire support against that MG42 team.
Yeah, and we're seeing right now another 76 gun, because the one in the center has gone down in the meantime. But it's being deployed over here. Actually, this is going to go poorly.
Mm-hmm. Well, down south it's going a little bit better now for Hypokrass. He's got a decent amount of armor here. The two Shermans providing great fire support with their stabilized guns. Once again, Hippo doesn't have a whole lot of infantry in A phase, but he should have just enough of those engineers to make a good breakthrough in this hill.
I agree with you, and yet at the same time I feel like, okay, you take the hill, as good as the Shermans are going to be, you can still more or less zone that out, which is one of the things that we always kind of talk about, that this southern town, it's important, but I feel like sometimes players put way too much emphasis on it.
If you can completely capture it, it's a very worthwhile trade, because then you can just camp the hill, put fire support up north, and then you pretty much cap the entire south. It's if you get grinded down too much at the initial flag zone and through the forest, and you just spend the entire match fighting here, then you just get screwed. So it's always a risky play if you can't make the entire breakthrough. Most players don't, so we'll have to see if Hippo can do it, because he's starting to push a little bit aggressively at the M4A1.
That's putting it very mildly. Yeah, he's going to be taken under fire by P4s on two different directions, and I don't care how much you angle on this, that's not going to go well after a while. P-Shrek, in the meantime, still inside that, I want to say holy ground here, but no, he's in that little building just south of it. This is still a kind of nasty intersection to kind of take. I don't know that I really want to get super close with that Sherman.
Yeah, losing that initial Sherman definitely sucks. The engineers are going to have to clear us out as the Panzer Shreks, or Panzer Grenadiers with the Panzer Shreks, very confusing seeing that icon, are just not that good in the CQC fights here. It feels like Hypokrass just needs a little bit more substance down south if you want to make this work.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? Is that it's good to kind of be relatively economic in how you're going to try to invest the time and the energy here. But I don't feel there's been any kind of real concentration of force. That's what desperately needs to be happening.
Mm-hmm. And up north at Jumbo as well, being quite a tank, you could say, just taking all the shots from long range against the Panther and just providing good fire support. He's, once again, not really getting that many kills. He's just providing, brick wall servicing. He's just staying there, taking the shots, and just stopping his German push from just completely overwhelming north. And he's going to be getting a second Jumbo as well for this occasion.
Well, the other thing, too, is that it's giving enough opportunity that people are focusing on that as opposed to the 76. And you're seeing that the 176 heavily stressed out, needing a bit of a latte on the beach would be a good idea for him. But the other one south of that, he's at HE shells up. He's going to be engaging the IG-18, which are well and good. But lay down with an AP. Wow. Good lord, is that the Panther in one shot?
No, I think it's the Panzer IV got a side shot on the hill.
Oh, wow, okay.
On the slope of the hill. He got... That's a good side shot. Great placement there from Farid. Knocking out a Jumbo is always a big deal against third armored. So, and that other Jumbo which has been on the hill has been pounded quite a bit. I'm sure he's taken a decent amount of high explosive damage. Mm-hmm. So some more grill shots should grill him.
Well, the grills have also barbecued the other 76 that had been, I think, pretty much a full kind of HP there. I'm actually quite surprised it died quite so quickly. Quick thing down south, we are going to see engineers have cut the road for the P-Shrek P-Grens. You see them getting surrendered one by one. But there's still a half-track there. I'm not saying this is over per se, but when you have the armored rifles with that Zook, well, that should be more than enough to take them out.
Yeah, it's a very good push here from Hippo. He's actually done pretty well because he stopped Farid from completely capturing the north. Just the Jumbos have slowed down that advance as they've just been stuck in the open position there. Farid's got a decent job in the center as well, but Hippo has a very good opportunity now. Like I said, he can secure the southern hill and then capture the rest of the town position. That could be 2, maybe 3 flags if he does push through and deal with a little bit of infantry left in the central town.
That's true, but we're going to go into the dog days of the match for him. So this is when it gets really, really ugly for 10 minutes. We're actually 15 seconds away from Phase B, of course. So I want to say a Nibelwerfer as almost the initial call-in to down south. I think that would be a great way, cut the momentum, reverse it, and maybe move back the other direction. Quick note, up north, Panther has gone down. Grill took out the 76 mil, but I think that killed the Panther. So now we're down to a jumbo, armored rifles, and a 57 mil rushing towards the north. Problem here is that the jumbo, I think, if that P-gun gets a little bit frisky, he could get a nice little shot on the jumbo. Oh no,
Yeah.
he's... Weird orders.
Making maneuvers. We've seen the armored rifles as well actually moving up, providing some good infantry coverage. There's also all the mortars as well, so I don't think Hippo's going to be able to do too much to make a counter-offensive. He's still going to be stuck on the hill, but once again, it's just buying him time to try to, or I say attack down south, but now you mentioned with the B-phase income disparity, he probably just needs to survive for the next 10 minutes.
And he's going to try to do just that with the P-51, which I think is probably the best thing you can do. You know, my mind keeps always saying, where's Gabreski? Where's Gabreski? And I realize that's not the right division for this. But,
no.
You know, muscle memory being what it is. Down south, Martyr 3 taking out an M4A1 command. I mean, he doesn't even get taken out in return by the next bombing run. So Martyr, cheapest chips, anti-tank, frail to be sure, but still something that's very, very vital and kind of reversing a lot of this momentum that we've been seeing down south.
Yeah, a lot of Hippo's tanks down south have actually, you know, been cooked up. There's really not a whole lot left. It's going to just be down to the infantry to hold these positions. He's going to be getting an anti-tank gun, so... Yeah, honestly, Farid to be able to just hold on to that little town flag he has left, which is honestly good enough. I mean, it's a 12-12. Actually, no, he needs to make something in the center or north really happen, because we're getting into B phase here. Well, we're already into B phase, and he, you know, needs to get those points.
Well, and this is the kind of, not going to say fun or interesting part of this, because that puts a rather blithe description to it. But up north, an entire income tick, actually even a little bit more than that, probably about 2 of them, thrown in M4A1 and other 2 M4A1 Shermans that are kind of like, that have been thrown in about 45 seconds, maybe almost a minute ago at this point. And, 57 mil is going to go and take out one of those scout cars. Puma might be able to get shots on the jumbo. Nope, never mind.
Some see some like Kelly's hero stuff for the Shermans just coming out of nowhere and flanking the Germans.
Yeah, but it doesn't come without cost. I mean, we are going to see now 105, so it becomes not really Hobart's moment here, but we're seeing Hobart-like Sherman deployment as everything comes to the northern side. I just, I don't know. There's a piece of me that feels a little bit mixed about this intended deployment. How do you feel about this?
I like it. It's very good how he's managed to maneuver all these Shermans, especially run all the way far north. It's a very good sneaky position. But yeah, he's going to be forced to fall back it out because that Panther D can definitely give the D, if you know what I mean. And it's just gonna prove once again a pain. And I think northern side is just gonna end up being kind of stalemated to the original positions. Yeah, 76 goes down. It doesn't feel like either side is going to be able to make too much progress at this current rate.
True, but when that happens, I know for right now, the thought process might be, well, that's okay. He has, just kind of stall out until C phase. But stalling out until C phase at this bleed still requires you to then be able to reverse that. And yeah, you're taking out Pumas. Exactly. Well, I mean, for Hippo, really, because Hippo's the one that's down right now. But when you look at this from Farid's perspective, yeah, that's true. He's definitely taking hits on the chin. But as you go deeper and deeper into this, he's been very, very good about taking out a lot of these earlier tanks. If he can keep a lot of these 76 mils at arm's length, then, I don't know, I think he's definitely got something going here.
Yeah, but Farid needs to get a +2 right now. We're almost halfway into B phase, and he's getting good trades here and there, but he's not getting that much territory. And he needs to just, like the initial push up north, he needs maybe to make something happen in the center here to try to flank around his hill. Instead, he is getting a yanked Panzer forward. He's got a good Focke-Wulf strike. I should be able to finish off the 76. If he can also just finish off that jumbo, it should be so close to being dead by now. There we go, transmission damage. He should be able to just get the 150 mil shot on and maybe finish off that tank.
Well, here's the other thing, too. So down south, he's actually pushed back and taken a good chunk of that hillside. It's at 15. There's that bleed. And here's why. P-Grand squad behind enemy lines. He's not going to keep this for too long. But anybody coming overland is going to really eat it. and any vehicle coming along that pathway, similarly kind of just, let's say, having it in a spot of bother here.
Oh, that's a sneaky position. I like that quite a lot. Yeah, the flamethrower taking quite a bit of damage. That's honestly, I mean, Panzer Lehr isn't super competitive by any means. There is so many divisions, it's hard to keep track of which ones are good or not at this stage. But they are very cost effective for 30 points for having 2 MG42s and the Panzer Shrek. You could say they're really the pinnacle of tank technology.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way to put it. Another Sherman going down, so we have the M4A3 105 in retreat. Yeah, an armor rifle squad or two. That's really, really cute. He's being brought in to try to pick off that Pigren. But that still means that another flag is going to get picked up.
Mm-hmm.
So the north... Yeah, please. Yeah, by all means.
No, Farid has gotten like a really good trade here. Like, he's got a good momentum now up north. The Agpants are actually pushing up onto the Jumbo. The Jumbo can't really maneuver much, and it really needs that maneuver to be able to get out of sticky situations. If Farid can just keep us up and not die to a bunch of 76 mils, which I'm surprised aren't being spammed out, he should do pretty good here.
But the thing is, you're going to spam 76 to the north? Well, that's fine. You might engage the Panther, and you might kill it in one shot, but if you don't, there's a grill right there to put suppression. Heck, there's the SDKFZ, quad, flak Vierling. You have the Beobacter to actually get you some radio back to the mortar. The mortar track is not full, but he's full enough. Probably the best thing that's still happening here is there's a recon keeping eyes on all of this as it kind of rolls from west to east. But,
oh yeah, one dude in the windmill.
I wasn't even thinking about him. I was thinking further northeast from that.
Oh, that guy.
Jagdpanzer, in the meantime, starts to engage. He will probably just plank that Jumbo to death.
Mm-hmm.
But realizing he's probably not going to be able to do it too easily, destroys the half-track first.
Gonna go for the easy targets for the XP.
Exactly. You gotta club a seal or two before you do that.
Mm-hmm. But no.
Yeah, please.
No, that's just very effective for Farid. Like, it's like exactly what he needs, especially coming towards the end of B phase here.
But that -2, if he establishes a couple of lines of defense here, down south, he's just throwing infantry into that town. Does it mean he's controlling it? Absolutely not. But he's controlling everything that's important, which is going to require Hippo to try to dig him out. It's going to be that whole kind of like, there's a splinter and you're trying to dig at it, but he doesn't have the time to do that if he's bleeding at a -2.
Mm-hmm. And the M4 is doing his best to just hold position. The Martyr's actually getting in a bit cheeky up close and personal. We'll see who get the first shot off in this sort of engagement.
Looks like it's going to be the murder.
Wow.
Oof. Oh, okay, yeah, that is not what you expect to see, but that's what happens.
Stabilizers, Khan. Stabilizers.
The martyr wasn't moving.
The Sherman was.
Yeah. You have stabilizers. The other guy takes a -2 to his hit roll. And that's fine. I mean, in the meantime, though, we do see a GMC down south, so some of the infantry is still getting aggressive, but it's not going to be enough. We're seeing the engineers trying to be plucky, trying to move forward. They're going to get pinned down in a second. Northern side, we see Command Stewart, Sherman, 76 mils. They can't get aggressive either because now, again, look, we have this weird kind of tank park of the Grill, the Martyr, the Panther, and the mortar track. Oh, no, yeah, by the way, the SDKFZ's moving in that area as well.
And like Wizard of Oz.
It is. I don't know which one needs courage, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be the SDKFZ.
Yes. Booking it down. If Rommel can just get one more flag, getting that +3 would pretty much put him in a very good position. There's not many areas where you can easily get that extra flag, unfortunately for him. Maybe up north is his best bet, but still, he doesn't want to get over aggressive because he's not going to be getting many more reinforcements in a minute.
That's true, but I think if you look at it overall, he's got a ton on the map as is. Verbal Wind coming on in, and I have to tell you again, it doesn't matter how many years it's been since I've played that stupid game. Code 2, the Verbal Wind will always have a soft spot in my heart.
Mm-hmm. World War II Shilka.
It's so good. It was just so ridiculous. But in any case, I'm sorry, so we're to phase C. More airplanes. What are we going to be expecting to see? If you're Hippo, where do you attack?
Oof. Maybe, I don't know, maybe try to stabilize down south again, get the tank and infantry spam, you got all his armored rifles, and then just try to get back to a trove and let attrition do its thing. But at the same time, Hippo has not traded well in B phase, and that B phase trading can really make and break divisions here, as we usually see. So it's gonna be tough for him. We'll have to see how well he does.
That does seem pretty fair. Amusingly enough, P-grants are enough to push back the armored rifles with the BAR. So I always thought the BAR was a little bit better than that. So it might have just been a very, very unfortunate engagement. Oh, and we're going to see the gun motor carriage on here as well. M12 from northern side. Focke-Wulf 190, not seeing it any longer. So clearly, the M12 has been watching his Monty Python and understands the importance of not being seen.
Yeah, bringing in the heavy artillery is actually a pretty interesting choice. I don't think it's a bad one, because he definitely needs to be dealing with the mortars, the anti-aircraft guns, the grills, with some long-range, high-precision firepower. But it's a rather risky position for him. There's not a whole lot of defense left to guard it. And I'm still waiting for, like, the Puma and the 234s to just book it right in the open and just try to shut down the spawn, because they are actually very close to shutting down that spawn road. That is a mechanic.
But check out where he's aiming. Even if he's somewhere in the same area code, he could put either a ton of suppression, he could drop short and kill something important. Like, there's some options here. Not good options, but there are some options.
Mm-hmm.
And
but you can kill the anti-air, and that's honestly knocking out the anti-air is his priority, because then he can bring in his own aircraft. Or actually, he only has like the one P-51 card, only 2 of him. So it's not like he can really exploit like blowing up anti-aircraft units.
Maybe not, but he's been good enough at it that somehow the first shot actually kills, and the second shot, that's probably the most killy artillery on the map I've seen in a very, very long time.
Those radios, man. Well, I guess I think he did get radio, because the Recon's. Oh no, the Recon doesn't have radio. No, it's just a bloody good shot.
It is. But outside of that, I mean, the Puma's not getting aggressive. We're going to see this Jumbo probably pick on somebody not his own size. And yeah, if I am an anti-tank gun, that is not where I want to be regardless. Puma, I think, was trying to find the artillery piece, and unfortunately for his case, not so simple.
Yeah, it's going to be a very decisive engagement now, because the Jumbo and the 76mm have committed up north. Great Focke-Wulf run. Knocks out 76. Jumbo down to half stress, which is a pretty big deal. We've seen the smoke once again. Very funny actually seeing smoke being used in an offensive raid to block enemy field of fire, rather than what you see with most people, especially in Wargame, of using it to cover your own tanks so they can reverse into it.
But I kind of like that aggressive point. If you know where the smoke is, not for nothing, I feel like that's a much more effective way of doing it. You force the enemy to move, which takes them out of the prepared position, as opposed to taking your own eyes off the proverbial target. So
yeah, also forces them to get closer to you, so you have a better chance of penetration.
Exactly. Although with an 88 mils of penetration, I mean, like you said, that's a lot of penetration.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's going to be able to flip another flag here. Just getting the run up north as those Panzer Grenadier Panzer tracks. Very good positioning. I'm just looking quickly at the rest of the map. Yeah, Farid, he's still got momentum down south. There's really only 3 units left here from Hippo, and Farid can just push through. Like, even with the poor income, he's not really feeling the pressures of it yet, because he has traded so effectively in B phase.
Well, and the other thing, too, is that he masked units before he pushed, which is something that we see so many players kind of do drips and drab attacks. And that might work in a different type of RTS. That's an Age of Empires thing where you set a rally point and just kind of, fire and forget your deployment. But here you have to be a lot more considerate about it, and we're seeing that happen. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you got to play it like StarCraft 2 Protoss. You just deathball everything in attack move, and it works. It works really well, especially when you have Yak Panthers and Panthers.
Well, it hasn't come without cost. Northern side, there is just that artillery, and there's an M4A1 to kind of engage. But the Panther's gone down, the Grill's gone down. There's just a Martyr up here. And that Martyr, while it can kill, maybe it's a question of will it kill? And that's a big question. But another question is, how killy is that tiger? And there's a tiger coming to the fore. So the zoo is released.
Yeah, it should be enough just to defend, because that's what Farid needs to do for the next literal minute here. I really don't see Hypokrass getting himself out of this run. He's just not traded out effectively. And heck, even down south, we're seeing a half-track go for a little bit of an end run here, just seeing how far he can get down the road. Archer, not that far.
Yeah, even if the guy's firing a howitzer at you, technically speaking, he just fires in somewhere in the same country code. He's going to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, we are going to see down south as well. BAR riflemen getting overwhelmed. Yeah, you're right. Pigrins are not that great in the CQC role, but when you're firing 6 MG42s at a single squad, that's usually pretty good.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of overwhelming firepower, you know?
Exactly. I would be fascinated to see what the end result is insofar as another Focke-Wulf strike. Insofar as the KD is considered, because while it feels like Farid has been punching above his weight, he's been losing very valuable pieces of equipment. So I see it probably being fairly close, I would think.
There, we'll just have to see here, because down south, Pioneer's getting blapped. Hippo's going to be able to defend that town with his lone Sherman in the middle of the town square. And also just these Focke-Wulfs have actually been quite underrated. They've been getting some very good kills, seeing even gun run on an M8 Greyhound yet. And Hippos just has not been able to get an anti-aircraft presence up, which has really screwed him.
What also screws, I think, Farid, though, is when your P-Grens with a P-Shrek are less than 150 meters from a Sherman and somehow miss something that's the size of a small house.
Yeah, not ideal at all.
Yeah, you wonder, okay, who's the Ubermensch now if you're missing things from that close? But the game is done, and thus we see that it's a little bit under 1,000. So, that, I guess, is about what I was expecting here.
Yeah, it's pretty standard, actually. It's not overkill. Now, just looking at chronology real fast before we go to kills. Yeah, you can see from like 13 minutes to 17 minutes, Farid is just rocking it. That's when the match really changed.
Well, and then, early on, too, let's not discount that first 3.5, 4 minutes. That's a lot of initial equipment going down, and it's not, oh, look, we're losing flamethrowers in every single turn. It's still, I'm losing super early anti-tank presence, I'm losing fire support in the form of all those M3A1s. And what am I trading for it? A single scout car, a single half-track, not a whole lot. So that initial, I think, scuffle did set the tone for most of the match.
Indeed.
But looking at kills, like you said, we do see the Shermans picking on those guys who can't really fight for themselves. 76 over here, Dobson picking up that Panther that we did see on the northern side, as well as that Puma. And really, I can't help but feel, had this been one of those invasion matches, if he had just been able to sick, 5, 6, 8, 76 mils and had everyone come to him, that'd be brilliant. Unfortunately, that's not to be the case here. It's not impossible to be done.
Yeah, and looking at losses, you can see the Grill's doing pretty good, picking up a few the Grill's picking up a few anti-tank guns. Lost no train of thought, yeah. Marder 3 doing really good, knocking out 4 bloody Shermans. Real tank destroy. Panther's doing decent, but honestly, nothing really that crazy, considering it felt more killy on Farid's side. Like, everyone kind of did their part for the fatherland,
And and that's the important thing. When everyone does their part for the fatherland, the eagle continues to soar.
Mm-hmm.
The eagle
maybe 1,000 years, for sure.
yeah, bonsai and all that, whatever. Mm-hmm. But unless you have any further thoughts, sir, I think it's time for us to turn away from this total tank of a match. Anything else?
No.
Folks, in that case, then until next time, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Angru. Take it easy.